Okay, we're live. I hate everything.
Sure.
To me.
No.
Not to me?
No, to me, obviously, for waiting patiently.
For being a good boy. God, that was painful. I don't know why that was so difficult to make work. It's still not working how it's supposed to either.
So probably user error then.
I mean, it had been working for forever, and now all of a sudden it's like I'm gonna work differently.
Well, I notice we're both content creators, but you also double as a producer. Yet you don't have a little board with things that twist.
I don't.
Is that
I do.
a problem?
It's right here.
I don't see you twisting. I see you typing. I never see you twisting.
Well,
and
that's
I think
because
that might be part
I
of
already
the issue.
did the twisting. The twisting is the volume levels.
But that's what you were having problems with.
No, I was having problems with it not recording my microphone at all.
That's a volume issue.
It was not a volume issue.
It's a volume issue.
It was an on or off issue.
Yeah.
It was a left or right issue. It was a whole thing. It makes me very upset.
Uh-huh.
But we're past it now. We're gonna be past it. We watched Friendship. 2025 Tim Robinson Friendship. Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
Polithy Rudderman.
Not actually directed or written by Tim Robinson.
Interesting.
Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
I looked that up while you were fiddling with your keyboard
That's
buttons.
good. Did you write some more facts?
No, there's not a lot on IMDb, but I thought this one was interesting. Somebody named, I think it's Andrew DeYoung, and it's his directorial debut, which I thought was very interesting because overall this seemed like a Tim Robinson vehicle. I'm surprised he did not write or direct it.
Does Paul Rudd have an agent?
Almost certainly.
What do you think he said about this movie? Don't do it?
I think Paul Rudd is
because he takes a lot of. I think he takes on a lot of roles that are very Paul Rudd. This is one of them.
He was extremely Paul Rudd in this movie.
He was very good.
I think the director notes to Paul Rudd was, "I'm gonna need more Paul Rudd.
I'm gonna need you to be more Ruddish.
Can you double? You're giving me Paul Rudd, but can you double the amount of Paul Rudd you're Paul Rudding right now?
If you could double the Rudd, I'd be in. He was great. Tim Robinson was great. Was this movie funny?
Yes, I laughed out loud multiple times.
Yes, there were very, very funny parts. I felt uncomfortable most of the time though.
Yes, it was perpetually a nervous laughter. This is I think going into this, I'll use my I statements. Going into this, I thought we were getting a real big Tim Robinson vehicle. And yeah. I of course, Tim Robinson, known for I Think You Should Leave, I think is his biggest hit, but Detroiters... and apparently he's done quite a bit of voice acting in various cartoons.
Interesting.
But he's always kind of the same type of character. Very self-serious yet buffoonish type of guy, and you really I expected that to be in this movie, and it really is a I Think You Should Leave sketch brought to life over the course of 100 minutes instead of like 4. It's 25 times longer than your average I Think You Should Leave sketch, and you do feel every minute of that in a hilarious, cringy way.
Is that what makes it more uncomfortable / rather than funny though? And not that it wasn't funny, but it's like funny, and there were definite moments that made me laugh out loud regularly. But I feel like because it was so extended and we got to like live in this character, it becomes less funny at times. Because you're kind of rooting for them on occasion, even though they're an absolute psychopath.
Well, you do have longer to empathize with the characters, all of the characters there, so it is a little bit more painful when the inevitable stupid thing that he's going to do, that his character is and he does several of them over the course of of this episode, but a lot of it is because you're empathizing with the characters over a longer span of time. Absolutely. And there's a elongated dramatic tension about when exactly that's going to happen.
I had not read a lot on this movie, but I was a little upset by the one spoiler I did find out, that there was going to be a falling out of the friendship, and that's what kind of led to it. I
think that's pretty much in the tagline.
Yeah, but that's the part that, like, I would have loved to have gone into that not knowing something was about to go happen, because the way it was built up and me knowing something bad was going to happen, I was like, it's going to be tonight. It's going to be at this thing. And so it was not, and it didn't ruin it, but I definitely felt like I was like, we
were watching for this setup
yes.
there. Yes, absolutely. Have you seen a Final Destination movie?
Yes, I've seen a few.
Have you seen the new one, Final Destination Bloodlines?
I have not.
It's fantastic. It rules. It's exactly what you would like a Final Destination movie in 2025 to be. I had the same feeling watching this movie as I do watching those Final Destinations, where you're just waiting for
the shoe to drop.
The shoe to drop, and the people creating the movie know that, so they're playing with those expectations. And they do little fake outs in the Final Destination movie. And I feel like we got a little bit of that here. They do a little bit of fake outs, and then finally the shoe drops and he does something just socially egregious.
Now, was it the punches or was it the soap?
I think it was the soap.
I think it was also the soap.
I could punch you in the face right now. We'll get burritos tomorrow. It's no problem. I think it was the soap.
Yeah, I think you're right. Ah, boy. And not just one soap, two soaps.
I thought it was one soap that he started crunching.
Did he? That's also very possible. Oh my God. I know what I need to do. I need to be punished. Oh, he's so good at playing, you're all crazy, I'm not crazy.
Mm-hmm. And doubling down on never wanting to take an L. Always saying, I can get out of this awkward situation if I just push it a little bit further. And we saw that. Did you see the last 20 minutes of the movie coming at all? We'll get there, but we saw this to good effect, and this goes back to the Final Destination fake out that I'm talking about, when he comes back and he crashes into the sliding glass door.
Yes.
And he does hurt himself. He doesn't break the door. He opens the door. He comes in and he does something incredibly socially awkward, bonksing into this door, saves himself by saying, the door crashes. Everybody's horrified, and he saves himself by saying, so how'd y'all meet?
It's even better than that, because he runs into the door.
I said that part.
And then he comes inside.
Yeah, I said that part.
But then the glass breaks.
Yeah.
That's the most, like, key piece of this, is that he's inside. They're like, you hit the door really hard, and you think that this embarrassing moment is coming. You're like, he's already embarrassed. He dropped his beer. He picked it up. I didn't notice him pick it up, but he picked his beer back up. And you're like, oh boy, he is going to be super awkward in this moment and super conscious of himself in this moment. And then the window breaks. And yes, he delivers the best line of the film, which is, so how'd you guys all meet? And what's funny about that is his character did not do that on purpose. His character was so mortified, I think he went into like...
Yes, he got the reaction that he wanted, but I don't think he did that on purpose.
Yeah, because you can see him kind of do the slow realize. What the fuck?
You're going to get us demonetized again. And I need this money. This is how I keep my house hot.
This is how I keep my house hot. Oh, you know what it is? Almost guaranteed.
The battery?
Yep.
I was led to believe this is a professional operation.
When were you led to believe that?
You were so proud of your dials. She said, no, I've got all the dials. It's back on right now. Is that something?
It's because it's going to last about 2 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Professional. But the professional would vamp right now. What's that?
I was going to ask if I should be vamping.
You should be vamping.
I should be vamping. All right, so that was very funny, but you wanted...
professionally have another battery.
Great, yeah, in the other room. Great job.
Right here.
Great job! The other part that you wanted to talk about is the last 20 minutes where I think we were both faked out a little bit. He licks a toad because the toad will help get him high. It's the closest thing to ayahuasca that this drug dealer has. So he licks it and he trips. He has a very small he's supposed to be tripping for what feels like months. He has a small trip where he goes to Subway and he starts to order a sandwich. He gets as far as to order his meat and his bread. He does not get to cheese. And so, of course, if you've been to a Subway, you know that means he does not get to the vegetables, to the sauces. He gets to that he wants
He decides
it
it's toasted.
But
don't you usually put the cheese on before you toast?
He didn't ask about the cheese yet.
That's
He didn't
interesting.
ask about the cheese. I've gone to Subway a lot.
That was a tremendous scene, and that it being cut off was amazing, and him being like, "This toad ripped me off." That was great because he just literally was like, "I don't know what else is left, and I'm gonna choose this."
So we get to a birthday dinner for his kid, and things start to go very well for this.
Well, yeah, but
tiny
they
little
kind of
thug.
do a little montage of him like, "I'm a lone wolf. I just hang out with my son." His son just randomly is friends with him now, which I don't think his son had any respect for him, which is why the intuition I made was like, "Oh, he's still in the fucking thing."
Right, he's still tripping.
He's not. He's not
No.
tripping. This is all part of the fucking film. I mean, who knows? He may be tripping. We're all tripping at this point because this fucking film is off the rails. He brings his wife, who's left him at this point, and is living in the
Pool house.
the pool house of her firefighter ex-boyfriend.
We're pretty sure.
Lance?
Yeah, Lance. Our guy Lance.
Whose name is Devin.
Whose name is Devin, yeah.
They have a nice time. They have a nice, wonderful.
They have a lovely time.
Birthday.
He buys a van. He stands up to a bully. He
Immediately
seems like
realizes he probably shouldn't have stepped to the bully.
he seems like he's getting his wife back. He's getting he's getting all along with his son. So yeah,
He's making the changes he needed to make.
we think
He's realizing all the things he was ignoring, like getting his wife a van, which is, I think, the critical one here.
When are you going to get your wife a van?
She doesn't like vans. I would have bought a van a long time ago if I could have just had a van. I love vans.
You're a big van guy.
I'm a big van guy.
Huh. What's your
Minivans
favorite-
might
what's your
be the
favorite van?
best. This is not a trick question. A supercharged Toyota Previa.
Did you have a van growing up?
I did. Many
Wha-
of them.
What was that van?
They were caravan. I was a Caravan and a Grand Voyager, which are the same vehicle, but one is a Plymouth and one is a Dodge, which are, of course, owned by Chrysler, which is, of course, owned by Stellantis now.
Yeah.
You know this. You're a car guy.
Yeah, and I've got the stocks as well. We had a Grand Caravan at some point.
It's a good one. I drove it in college for a little bit, too, because it was the greatest thing to tote all the band stuff around. But he buys a van.
He buys a van,
Um,
much like our parents
much like our parents bought a van,
several years ago. Yes,
which is how they kept. That's why their marriages lasted.
that's right.
Um,
But turns out this is not tripping.
no, this is all
Unless
happening.
this is some like Inception, and sorry, spoilers for a very old movie. Unless this is some Inception level shit.
Then he decides he's going to try and ram his car into his ex-best friend's new Corvette that he finally bought. His plan is foiled by the speed bump he had installed. And so then he goes inside and has a little hostage sitch.
Yeah, waves his gun around that he had stolen earlier from Paul Rudd. Indirectly threatening the friend group that he was iced out of. And it more or less ends with Paul Rudd's wig coming off.
Yep. We talked about his toupee. We didn't talk about it, but it fell off in jail when they were in jail. We skipped that whole fucking scene where his wife gets lost in a fucking
That's
tunnel.
fine. It's not a plot summary.
No.
You've already watched the movie.
I don't know what else to say. It was a really good movie. I just was awkward fucking the whole time.
What was the most cringe thing for you out of all of the things?
The most cringe that he did?
Yeah, or had done to him, or however you want to take that.
There's a couple. One, going to the workplace to see him at his news job.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty rough.
Mm-hmm.
But I also understand that instinct. Going into his house, he murdered me.
Yeah.
I was gonna die.
His wife saying, "Come cuddle me. It's nap
Oh
time."
my god.
It's so funny.
But what? Oh my god, that was such an amazing, because he goes into the house and you're just like, well, this is fucking. I'm already hiding in my chair. I'm scrunched up. I'm like, this is the most awkward thing ever. He's gonna get discovered, and then he takes his business call with the mayor.
Yes.
When that happened, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck. Because I forgot all about his call with the mayor, that it was very important. Remember, he pounds it into us that I have a call with the mayor. It's very important. But I still completely forgot about it because of how cringe him going into the house, playing with his gun, hanging out in this dude's house for like what felt like a half hour minimum. He was hanging on the couch for a while, just sitting there. He went to his office. He's walking around, starts playing with his gun, and then takes the mayor's phone call. And when that happened, I just about lost it. I was like, this is absurd. Especially because how nonchalant he is when he takes the call.
Yes.
He's like, man, what's his name?
Craig.
Craig? What's his last name? He said it many times. Waterman?
Waterman?
Craig Waterman, I think? Oh, man. That's the most cringe.
Did he have reason to hate the mayor outside of Paul Rudd's comments?
Yes, the speed bump.
Well, he got the speed bump.
Yeah, but he had to go to war for it.
I read that as him like adopting Paul Rudd's.
Definitely.
Okay. I thought the cringiest thing might have been the son and the mother kissing on the lips. That was Bed Bath and Beyond to me.
That part was so funny to me for two reasons. One, later, his son just randomly has a girlfriend over all of a sudden. And
who's allowed to spend the night and eat baked potatoes?
Well, obviously he has no control of his household, which is, I think, kind of the point of that.
Yeah.
But him immediately going, "You've already replaced your mother?"
That was so funny. That was a great line. That was a really good line.
And then later, another throwaway line that made me laugh so hard is like, "2 girlfriends is making me broke."
Yeah.
Where you're like, what? Are they? They're like trying to make us think this is a dream, but it's so like just a throwaway funny joke.
And the idea that he would willingly go and get a job. I don't know. There's no kid is like, you know what? I should get a job.
This is also what surprises me about that this isn't written by Tim Robinson, or that he didn't have some sort of writing credit, is there's so many lines in this, especially in the last 20 minutes of that movie, that only his insane brain would be like, this needs to be in the movie. Like the part where his son goes, "You didn't tell him it was my birthday, right?" Like,
yeah, and
whole, like, there's so much of this was just so much of his brain, which is probably why he was pretty attracted to the concept. I'd be pretty surprised if he didn't have some writing involvement in some of this.
I think there was at least some improv, but it's interesting, especially we've talked about in our CH offsites about I Think You Should Leave and how meticulously written that is, with a few notable exceptions. But all of those, what seem to be tossed off lines, are actually similar to like the Coen brothers, who write all of that shit down and ask the actors to deliver it exactly in a particular way. So for this to have that sort of same model as the I Think You Should Leave sketches, but to be written and directed by somebody else is very interesting to me. Apparently, the director/writer wrote it based on a experience that he had as the Tim Robinson character, getting passively kicked out of a friend group.
I can totally see that. Especially, I mean, I don't know if it was an adult. I doubt it was an adult friendship that he based his story on.
I don't know. The
I feel like there's tons of
defect
those
is
that
one
happen
sentence.
over time as you're a kid. Like you just go in and out of friendship groups, I think. I definitely have some very close friends that I'm not friends with at all anymore, or had close friends. I have something else to talk about if we want to go past the movie, but I don't want to stop before we're done with the movie.
Sure. Yeah. What is that?
Well, as we know, this is a break episode. We're not talking about a TV show. We're about to get into Alien Earth, but we're taking a 1 week break.
Earth. Or
Alien colon. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
We haven't.
Do I need to edit this out? Do I need to edit this out?
Alien
Colon
Earth, aka Ace.
Yes. We're going to start that in 2 weeks. It starts in a week, but you canceled because your brother's getting married or got married and is
getting a renewal of the vows.
Renewal of the vows 6 months later.
Correct.
So in honor of friendship, I thought I would ask you a bunch of rapid questions so that we could learn more about Micah.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
First question, which spawned all of this: fuck, marry, kill.
Mm-hmm.
The Wire, Sopranos, Deadwood.
I'm gonna have to kill Deadwood.
Whew.
All of these are loom large.
Yeah.
For me, all of these loom large. This is
the best of HBO right here.
This is kind of hard. I think I probably fuck The Wire. No, I marry The Wire and I fuck The Sopranos.
Look at you.
That one's tough because I love both shows.
I love all these shows.
That was a tough one.
I was gonna fuck The Sopranos.
The Wire is at its heart a tragedy. I mean,
well, that's the thing. I was gonna kill The Wire, which hurts me inside. But I've already seen it. I haven't finished The Sopranos yet, so I've got at least. It has to be one of the top two. Like I've got to get the experience out, and I just love Deadwood. I don't think I love Deadwood so much. I could rewatch that a million times. Yeah. Favorite album this year? Music. It doesn't have to be something that came out this year. I imagine you do have one ready that came out this year, but also if you just discovered it this year.
Yeah,
Cocksure.
I've gotten several answers.
I'm ready to hear all of them.
The new Turnstile album I think is fantastic.
Okay.
Quote unquote hardcore, because I know there's some controversy in those streets. If you do in fact call it hardcore,
you call Turnstile hardcore
as a poser within the space. But it's very melodic for being as heavy as it is. I think that's beautiful. I really like the Tubbs album, Cotton Crown, from this year, which is very like mealy mash. It sounds like Southern early like Kings of Leon. Like, and I say that as a compliment, not the Kings of Leon that they became later on, but like when they were trying to be the Strokes from back in the day. These guys are from the I think Scotland, somewhere in the British Isles, and it is very country cowpunk type of sound. It's wonderful. The album by OK Lou, which is like if Grimes was really into classical music.
Okay,
I really like that one. And then let me shout out the new album from Laura Stevenson. Recently discovered.
It's quite good.
Laura Stevenson, for me, the new album, The Late Great, is fantastic.
She's very good.
So off the dome, those are my 4 favorites and all new releases in 2025.
3 hours left on the planet. Watch TV or chop wood.
How is the world going to end? Meteor. That would give me an anxiety that I think I would chop wood for.
Okay. I can appreciate that. How would the world have to end to change that to TV?
Just something less dramatic, I guess. Like, I don't know, like if we were all poisonous robots gases? And we just powered down. Yeah, a poisonous gas or like like a flood, we were all going to drown.
Okay.
And
that's less.
Something, I don't know, something like that just seems a little bit more. I would rather sit, have an IPA, and watch Friendship again.
feel awkward before you go. Elijah, Elias, or Ezekiel?
For what?
Wrestler.
Wrestler?
Yeah.
Elias. I think that's when we fell in love with him.
Yeah, he is pretty good. Who's more likely to be a lizard person, myself or your wife?
A lizard person. Probably you.
Okay.
Probably you. I think.
Why me?
Well,
You know less about me. You haven't seen me with my clothes off, or at least mostly.
yeah. I mean, I've certainly physically been more intimate with my wife and sort of investigated the nooks and the crannies.
But maybe she had that opportunity to brainwash you and poison you with her. Because you got closer.
She would be more likely to brainwash me, and maybe that's why I'm answering this question as I am now.
Favorite live musical performance?
Favorite live musical performance? We saw Pearl Jam back like 15 years ago at Key Arena, and they always blow it out for Seattle. That they played for like 3 hours, and that was incredible. I saw Paul McCartney. Beatles are my favorite band ever since I was like 8 years old or something. So seeing Paul McCartney was beautiful. I sang Beatles songs to put my kids to sleep. So they've been with me cradle to grave. Seeing him was great. And then this year we went to see Sturgill Simpson, who played for 3 straight hours and never changed his guitar. He was unbelievable. He would just
That's kind of impressive. Not to
interpolate
just
songs into other songs. He would start a song, play the song, and then he would do like a riff from a Rage Against the Machine song into his next song. Never switching out his equipment or fiddling with the pedals or tuning the guitar or doing any, just rocking, jamming for 3 hours.
That's dope.
So I'll say those 3.
Favorite Apple TV show so far?
Everybody knows Severance, and it's probably Severance, but let me shout out Slow Horses.
I was actually going to say Slow Horses as well.
I love Slow Horses. I think it's tremendous. It is a perfect British spy show. It is the best version of that genre.
I'm also a huge fan of how quickly it comes out. They hit us with 6 fast episodes, and the next season just comes out. I know Severance could never do that. It's totally written differently than that. But I think I give props to the fact it gave me such nostalgia, and I've mentioned this to you before, to see them do a next season at the end of the previous season. It made me miss old television so much to have that like coming up next and give you a whole preview of the next season. I miss that kind of television. I know I don't think all television needs to be that way, but I miss that we don't have those kind of shows. All right, this is a long one. Fermi Paradox. Fermi Paradox.
Yeah.
The Great Filter, or Aliens Are Already Here.
Well, I think there's several good explanations for Fermi's paradox. Such as, the universe is just too big to allow that type of travel. The aliens just are too smart to interact with us. We're the first, or also any super intelligent civilization will just retreat into an artificial world because it consumes less resources.
Fair enough.
Than it does to live your real actual life. So you think about the idea of us continuing to grow and expand and build and populate. What's going to be more resource intensive as our technology spans up to be able to simulate that in sort of a matrix type of manner, or to continue with our relative opulence. So I think Fermi was incorrect. I think anybody that was like, "Oh, that's a good point, Fermi," didn't have their critical thinking cap on.
So you're not a Great Filter fan, though.
Which one's the Great Filter?
The Great Filter is the concept that something or someone or some external force or some sort of limiting factor is making it impossible for us to So like a good example is that like the great filter could literally be we can't figure out how to get from planet to planet.
We
but
can't beat the speed of light, for
Sure.
example, or at a certain point we just blow ourselves up with nukes or something
That's
like that.
that's my favorite one, which is actually the last of them. So I'll break it down. Is the filter hiding other species, or is the filter destroying intelligent species?
I would say both.
Okay.
I would say there's some hidden ones. Yeah.
If the filter is destroying, how close are we to being destroyed?
Really depends on the day. Really depends on the day, doesn't it? I was reading a novel. I'm a big book reader.
Big book guy over here.
Big book guy. Human Acts by a South Korean author that was talking about the history of South Korea, where
Yep.
they were a military dictatorship in the 80s for a long time, and there was an uprising in 1980 when the military dictatorship closed down the universities and was shutting every opposition type of thing down. So there's this student uprising, and a bunch of students and innocent people were killed in very dramatic fashion. And the book is a retelling of this from the perspective of somebody who was shot, and then like their best friend, their mother, the writer, and these different characters. And so I was a little bit dumbfounded by that. I didn't know anything about this history of South Korea, because I think of them as a democratic nation now, as an ally to us now, in direct opposition of the dictatorship of North Korea.
They somehow are doing a faster speed run of capitalism than we are in some ways, but yes.
1980 isn't that long ago.
No.
For this horrific event to have taken place, and for them to now be, I believe, upheld as a human rights embracing,
I think they lean that way for
capitalistic, democratic nation. And I thought about that, especially in context of today, that these things can ebb and flow. So it was a very sad story.
So
that
how
made
close are we
me-
to being destroyed?
it was a sad story that
Yes.
made me a little bit hopeful that we can go through those times and come out the other side.
Currently, right now, I have actually listened to quite a few podcasts from some very anti-capitalists, myself included. Spoiler alert. And it is interesting to hear hopeful voices, because I'm very used to doom scrolling and listening to the opposite voices, where I'm like, oh, this is all fucked. Like, we're screwed. Because I miss the hope of my childhood in the 90s.
Yeah, it doesn't have to just be a downward line.
Yeah.
These things can go in waves. And in that case, after reading that book this month, I saw it more as a wave than a downward line, which is good for my stupid kids.
I thought of it in a destroyed way, not as our society.
All the way
which we
destroyed?
can get to that. I mean, how close is our... Ignore all politics. How close are we technologically and reaching out to the stars in a way that would make a great filter or an intelligent God, if you will, deciding that we are too close to discovering other planets and so we need to be filtered out? That's how I was thinking of it. But I do like the discussion. I don't, not to kill that.
I don't think we're very close to in a human lifetime, what's the furthest that we can get right now?
Like if we physically had to transfer a human being,
Yeah,
probably Mars.
that's not that far.
I think we could go a little bit further. I think the big difficulty comes into, can we travel fast enough where it becomes a time dilation issue? Because that's what we need, right? That's the biggest sacrifice of anybody traveling at this point, is like, you'll travel fast enough that you won't age, but everybody you knew will perish and die. I think we're too humanistic to allow that kind of science to move forward yet. No one's taken that sacrifice. Okay, last question on the great filter. And you kind of already jumped into it. Is nuclear energy just the end of all civilizations? Like, do we just reach that state and none of us are intelligent enough to actually morally handle it.
Well, it's difficult
Like
because
all species.
you and I can certainly handle it, and we're fine.
Yes, you and I.
I'm not pressing any,
I
but
have
it just
not-
takes.
I have that nuke stored in the shed, and I have
Yeah.
not yet to activate it.
I've got mine.
But we've only had it for 50 years, I guess is my point. If you think about the history, I don't mean you and me. We haven't been around
No.
for 50 years. You're 29.
I'm 29.
But you look at the history of Homo sapien, or the history of civilization, 40 million years? And only 50 of them we've had? Sorry, 75. I forget how fucking old I am.
But did you not watch Oppenheimer?
No, it's 2000. Like 2000 came and I stopped counting numbers anymore. So anytime the 50s, that was 50 years ago. I was 17 in 2000. My point is
It was 45, wasn't the 50s?
Yes,
Yeah,
okay.
it was before that.
my point is nuclear energy, very recent in the time span of society, and we've already fucked some shit up with it. And though microplastic seems to be a bigger threat to us, I do feel like it's just so easy for nuclear energy to go, oh, we done fucked up.
Yeah, just
Because if you lean into foundation, nuclear energy is the future.
it just takes one person to do a little whoops-a-daisy, unfortunately.
And unfortunately, we got a lot of whoopsie-daisy type people in power that have that.
Yeah.
Speaking to, read a very interesting article about Ukraine. Now and I know that Ukraine was like the third largest nuclear power before they gave up all their weapons. An interesting point that sometimes likes to get brought up is that they did not have the nuclear codes to any of their information. That was all owned by Moscow, and they didn't necessarily have the technology at the time to use those weapons. But I think it's very interesting that people go that's what was holding them back from using those nukes, as if somehow they couldn't develop that processed nuclear power into weapons that they could use.
They had the cannon. They had the ball.
It's all there.
They had
It's
the
not
wick. The only thing they didn't have
buttons,
is the lighter.
Yeah, that's kind of the argument. It's like, they didn't have the codes. And you're like, yeah, but they could just take that and put it into something with the code, right? Like, it's not unheard. Like, yes, it'd be kind of difficult, but it's not unheard of. Final question before we say goodnight and watch more television. Who's a better friend to you? Me or Gigi?
Okay. I see a very easy way out here, and that is I came over and Gigi hung out with me for the first half hour or so.
Yeah.
And you're still grinding. So I guess just on a per minute basis, using that as the metric, I got to say you.
I love it. I actually would have I accept that answer. I would have accepted either answer, obviously. I thought you'd go Gigi just because her love is like pure. Because it's a dog like that. Like that friendship is pure. There's no filter there.
She does look at me with an innocence that you can't quite capture.
I can't give you that.
Yeah.
There is a world where you could do something so bad that I'd be like, all right, I'm not friends with Mike anymore. Gigi, she's ride or die. So, acceptable answer. I appreciate it, though. I'm glad on number one. I'll tell her later.
I didn't say you would.
Number one. Okay. We'll be back in 2 weeks.
Stay gold.
Stay gold, pony, boy. Oh, we were so close to 40 minutes. 1 minute.